Hi, I'm Tatum Reeves, a junior from Cristobal High School. Today I'm here to talk about a very sad but serious issue, school safety, but more importantly, my school's lack of it, how we fixed it, and how we are continuing to improve it. During the 2018-2019 school year, Cristobal ISD experienced a record number of threats that affected the safety of our students and staff. These included bomb threats, suspicious persons on campus, and of course, natural disasters. Sadly, you name it, and we most likely experienced it. To show the extravagance of our poor response techniques, in one notable bomb threat in 2016, it took over 5 hours for our students to be evacuated and reunified with their parents. Small rural communities like Cristobal, Texas are especially vulnerable because most emergency services are located over 20 minutes away. To prepare against active shooter situations, Cristobal ISD established the Guardian program in 2013. This means that a select number of staff are trained to carry concealed firearms on campus. But arming teachers cannot protect our students against a fire or tornado. The past emergency protocol was flawed, mainly because our current methods were outdated and our response techniques were no longer effective or adequate. Someone needed to take action. In 2018, Cristobal ISD Superintendent Dr. David Walker attended a Texas School Safety Conference. At that conference, he discovered the Standard Response Protocol and the Standard Reunification Method, which was adapted from the I Love You Guys Foundation. This was the solution we had been searching for. SRP-SRM is not a replacement, but an enhancement to a current safety protocol. It is designed to provide a consistent, clear, shared language among all students, staff, and first responders. The protocol offers simple, organized, yet adaptable solutions to a wide variety of modern emergencies. By implementing SRP-SRM, Cristobal ISD will be a safer environment to learn. Now, what is the Standard Response Protocol? Like it sounds, it's a method of reacting to an emergency. It uses specific vocabulary terms to give directions to students, staff, and first responders based on the type of crisis. And to show you how simple it is, you're going to learn it right now. Every action has specific instructions of what to do in a crisis. We also use hand motions to engage the elementary school students. Lockout. When lockout is called over the intercom, it means to get inside and lock outside doors. This is because the threat is outside the building, such as a dangerous animal. Students are able to go into the hallway but are not allowed to exit the building. Lockdown. Lockdown is more serious. Lock the doors, turn off the lights, and hide. This is because the threat is inside the building, such as a gunman. Evacuate. In the event of a fire, students will evacuate the building in an orderly fashion to their designated evacuation spot. Shelter. Shelter requires students to get on their knees and cover their neck. This is because of an earthquake, tornado, or even a zombie attack. Hold. This means for students to stay in their classrooms and business as usual goes on inside. This could be because a drug dog is checking lockers or a student outburst in the hallway. The Standard Reunification Method is used to return students to their parents after the crisis. This method provides information for planning, practicing, and achieving successful reunification. To make sure the method was enacted in an organized process, it was imperative that goals were set. Our first goal when establishing the new protocol was to educate. Specifically, we wanted to increase students, staff, and parents' knowledge of Cristobal school safety. We measured the effectiveness of our drills and teachings through student surveys and quizzes over vocabulary terms and key evacuation points. Our second goal was to practice through performing drills every 2 weeks and practice reunifying students with their parents every semester. We also provide teachers and students with feedback so that future processes could be completed as smooth as possible. The third goal was to connect our community in the event of a crisis. This was achieved by using common vocabulary terms through new radio systems in the mass messaging app Remind. Our last goal is to involve the community and Cristobal ISD through the process of making our school a safer place to learn. To make sure we had 100% involvement, the career classes such as graphic design and virtual business use the skills that they have learned to create Roxboxes and emergency backpacks. We also involve the community in our reunification process. The reunification method calls for binders to be made by using the materials located on their website. At the reunification site, designated staff members will grab a binder and inside explains their duties during the process. This set of binders is called a Roxbox, a reunification operations kit. Also a part of the new protocol, emergency backpacks were created and placed in each classroom or office. Each bag is equipped with an expanded first aid kit, a hammer used for breaking windows or for protection, attendance sheets for each period of the day, an evacuation plan based on the classroom's location, and so many more useful supplies. To complete our goals, it was necessary to have a chain of command. Ours went our superintendent, then our principal, then our first responders and our teachers, and lastly, our students and community. Based on our organizational structure, we were able to put together teams that would accomplish our milestones while implementing the protocol. On May 25th, we sent our superintendent, principal and vice principal, and our graphic design and virtual business teachers to the Train the Trainer workshop so that they could be key influencers in the first steps to installing the protocol. On August 7th, the career classes started making the Roxboxes and emergency backpacks. On August 23rd, I went to the Train the Trainer workshop so that I could be certified to train the staff. On November 15th, I set up my own Train the Trainer workshop at Cristobal to teach our staff. And on December 1st, SRP-SRM was fully enacted, and all students and staff are continuing their knowledge by participating in drills and the first reunification process. Next is our budget. The I Love You Guys Foundation provides all materials free for download on their website. However, Cristobal ISD still had to purchase the supplies used to create the Roxboxes and emergency backpacks and the travel to send administrators and the project manager to the training. In the future, Cristobal ISD hopes to upgrade security systems and work in conjunction with House Bill 496 to establish emergency bleed stations and trauma kits across the campus. We also hope to obtain two-way radios to increase communication in any emergency. Cristobal ISD is currently working on a grant to achieve our goals, and these total costs have been factored into the budget of $50,000. Although no cost is too great if it means that we're saving lives, our budget still had to be monitored. Since the budget lacked the funds needed to outsource making the Roxboxes and emergency backpacks, the most logical decision to monitor both our budget and our schedule was to use our career classes to help create them. This saved us 5 to 7 weeks of work, but cost us 20 days of in-classroom student learning time. Lastly, to ensure the integration to SRP-SRM was of the utmost quality, we sent letters home with students informing their parents about the new processes and vocabulary terms, which increased readiness across all channels. We then assessed feedback to develop better methods for reaching parents, such as the mass messaging app Remind. While implementing the protocol, we obtained many successful outcomes, both small and large. 4 of our main outcomes were a 43% decrease in school violence at Cristobal ISD, an 89% increase in parental involvement through school safety drills, a 76% faster reunification time, and 92% knowledge gain from all teachings and drills. Throughout our project, we impacted 716 parents, 550 students, and 63 staff members, and overall made them feel safe. Although the outcome was better than projected, with anything in life, problems occur. Most of our challenges were minor and almost always fixed on the spot. However, lack of seriousness from students became a persistent issue. To resolve this problem, we confronted it directly. We asked several students if they took school safety drills seriously. One of the ones that stood out were, "No, they're pointless. Nothing is ever going to happen." The general consensus was that students believed that catastrophe, such as a school shooting, was a rare event and would never happen to Cristobal. To bring awareness to these very realistic possibilities, we showed the students testimonials from victims of school violence. Since the last video shown on November 18th, there have not been any complaints from teachers about students resisting to learn the protocol or participate in drills. The key things that we have learned and that helped us throughout the project were: use students to help produce materials because it helps with understanding and the overall ownership of the project, and it saves money. Number 2, teach staff in smaller groups so that there are less distractions and more questions asked. Number 3, send informational letters home with students because it involves the parents. And 4, train, 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 because in anything else in life, practice makes perfect. After completion of the project, we have some recommendations for other schools who choose to implement SRP/SRM. Develop strong relationships with law enforcement, because to quote High School Musical, we are all in this together. Assign roles before the crisis begins, because there is simply no time to waste or room to make mistakes. Keep all interior and exterior doors locked at all times. It is a fact that no gunman has broken through a locked classroom door. Ensure proper understanding of the protocol for students and staff. Find key staff and students to train and empower others because they are more likely to listen to someone that they relate to. And frequently host drills involving everyone because, as you might have heard me say a few times already, practice is key. The standard response protocol and the standard reunification method is the best safety addition for any school or workplace, especially when a second could save a life. Tragedy strikes every day, but let's prevent the situation that you are the one looking for your child after you got a call that something terrible has happened. No child should go to school afraid, and no parent should worry that their school is not competent enough to protect their child, because our school is our second home. If you have children, I'd assume you do anything in your power to protect them. So please visit the I Love You Guys Foundation website. It has more information about using SRP/SRM to improve your school or workplace's protocol. I have full faith in this protocol because of the awareness it brought to my community. Thank you.